Good morning.
各位早安，
It is truly a pleasure to be with you today.
我很高兴今天与各位同在。
It is true, we've been good friends with CBC for a long time.
这的确，我们与竹文堂已经是很老朋友的关系很久了。
And many of our best students at Bethel have come from CBC.
我们神学院里面一些最好的学生都是从贵教会来的。
I don't know why you're laughing, that's true.
我不知道人为什么笑，这是个事实。
A few of them are right over here.
在座的有几位在当中。
And we've been talking about the Gospels this weekend.
这个周末我们在讲福音书。
And so I want to zero in on one particular gospel and one particular passage in that gospel.
所以我想就是焦点在其中的一本福音书，还有其中的一段经文。
It's Mark's Gospel.
是马可福音。
It's chapter 10 of Mark's Gospel.
是马可福音第10章。
I read the story of a young woman who was applying for college.
我读到一个故事，关于一个年轻的女孩，她申请大学。
But she became sad when she saw the question on the application that read, "Are you a leader?"
但是当她在申请表上看到一个问题的时候，她觉得很伤心，因为这个问题是你是不是一个领袖？
She wanted to be honest, so she wrote no.
她想要诚实的面对，所以她的回答是不是。
She returned the application expecting to be turned down.
她把申请表交进去，她所期望的可能不会被录取。
To her surprise, she received a letter of acceptance from the college.
但是很惊讶的，她却收到那个入学许可，从那个学校。
It read like this: "Dear applicant, a study." Go ahead.
那个信上面说，亲爱的申请者。
A study of the application forms reveals that this year our college will have 1,452 new leaders.
在我们的申请表上面，我们的统计，今年我们会收入有1400多一个领袖。
We are accepting you because we think it's imperative to have at least one follower.
我们让你进来，是因为我们觉得需要有一个跟随者。
Most Christians recognize that God has called us to be leaders.
我们基督徒都认为，神呼召我们要成为领袖。
But what does it mean to be a Christian leader?
成为一个基督徒的领袖是什么意思呢？
The world certainly presents a wide variety of models for leadership.
从世界的观点，有很多不同领袖的模范。
There's the Saddam Hussein or Joseph Stalin model.
有伊拉克的 Hussein， 或者是Stalin， 对，Stalin
rule by power and force.
他们是用权力和势力来统治。
There's the Martin Luther King or Mahatma Gandhi style of leadership.
也有像马丁路德的领导，或者是那个 Gandhi 的领导的方式。
Leadership by sheer conviction and passive resistance.
他们是用一颗诚心，用一个平安、一个和平的方式来领导。
There's the Mother Teresa model of leadership.
这也有像德特兰女士修女她的领导的方式。
Leadership by compassion and self-sacrifice.
是从一个怜悯还有牺牲的角度来领导。
There's the Bill Clinton and Ronald Reagan model of leadership.
也有克林顿还有雷根总统的领导模式。
Leadership by charm and persuasive personality.
是从一个魅力或者是从一个说服力来领导。
But what is the essence of Christian leadership?
但是基督徒的领导的核心是什么？
What kind of leaders are we called to be?
我们被呼召成什么样的领袖？
One person who talked a lot about leadership was Jesus Christ.
耶稣讲到很多关于领袖领导的教导。
And he said some shocking things about leadership.
他讲的是一些使人很惊讶的一些话语。
He took the world's model of leadership and turned it upside down.
他把世界领袖的世界观的领袖给颠倒过来。
For the world, leadership meant power and control over people.
从世界的角度，这领导是要统治、要控制。
But Jesus defined leadership as servanthood.
但是耶稣所定义的领导却是一个仆人。
I want to look at one passage in Mark's Gospel where he teaches this.
我们来看马可福音有一段关于这方面的教导。
This episode takes place in the last days of Jesus' ministry.
这是在耶稣基督在世工的末期的时候所说的。
There's excitement in the air.
那时候大家都很兴奋。
In chapter 8 of Mark, the apostle Peter has confessed that Jesus is the Messiah.
在马可福音第8章的时候，彼得他承认耶稣是基督。
Now in chapter 10, Jesus says he's going to go to Jerusalem.
在第10章的时候，耶稣说他要去耶路撒冷。
The disciples put 2 and 2 together.
然后那些门徒就把这2件事情给加起来。
Jesus is the Messiah and he's going to Jerusalem.
耶稣基督是弥赛亚，他要去耶路撒冷。
They think he must be there to overthrow the Roman powers,
他去那边肯定是要把罗马政权给推翻，
to establish the kingdom of the Messiah.
而建立在地上一个弥赛亚的国度。
On top of this, Jesus is acting strange. He's somehow tense.
在这个其上，耶稣可以看到耶稣他好像很紧张。
Verse 32 of Mark 10 says, They were on their way up to Jerusalem with Jesus leading the way. The disciples were astonished, while those who followed were afraid.
在马可福音第10章第32节，他们行路上耶路撒冷去，耶稣在前头走，门徒就稀奇，跟从的人也害怕。
Why are they astonished and afraid?
为什么他们稀奇和害怕呢？
Well, they're astonished because Jesus is out in front now. Normally, a rabbi would walk beside his disciples.
他们很稀奇，因为耶稣在前头走，通常拉比是在旁边走。
There's a new sense of intensity with Jesus.
好像感觉起来，耶稣基督是非常的严肃。
Others are afraid because they realize this is probably going to be war against the Romans.
其他人可能害怕，因为或许可能跟罗马帝国会有一个正面的冲突。
Many will surely die.
如果这样子的话，很多人会死。
And it's in this context that 2 of Jesus' disciples, James and John, begin to think and scheme.
在这个上下文里面，在这个情况里面，我们可以看到耶稣2个门徒雅各和约翰开始在筹划一件事情。
A popular war and the Romans are overthrown.
可能会有一场战争，然后罗马政权会被推翻掉。
Jesus will be proclaimed king and Messiah.
耶稣会被宣告为国王，成弥赛亚。
But who will be his top advisors?
那谁会成为他的主要的部下呢？
There are 12 of us.
有12个我们。
Too many to be his top advisors.
不可能全部都成为他主要的手下。
So they come to Jesus and ask him a question.
所以他们来到耶稣的面前，问耶稣一个问题。
It's in Mark 10:35. They say, Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask.
在马可福音第10章第35节，他们来对耶稣说：“夫子，我们无论求你什么，愿你给我们做。”
The way they ask is interesting. They're a little afraid.
他们问的问题很有意思，他们好像有点惧怕。
They don't use the direct approach.
他们没有直接的来。
Every kid knows better than using the direct approach.
其实小孩子都知道如何的直接来问问题。
You don't say, Dad, I just wrecked the car.
你不会就是对父亲说，我刚把车子给弄坏了。
You say, Dad, do you love me?
你会说，父亲，你爱我吧？
When he says yes, then you say, I wrecked the car.
当父亲说是的，然后你再跟他讲说，我把车子弄坏了。
So James and John say, Jesus, you have incredible power.
雅各和约翰对耶稣说，你有很大的能力。
I bet you could do anything for us.
我相信你可以为我们做任何的事情。
But Jesus doesn't fall into the trap.
但是耶稣没有掉在这个陷阱里面。
He says, What do you want from
耶
me?
稣说，要我给你们做什么呢？
And they reply in verse 37.
在37节，他们回答说。
Let one of us sit at your right and the other at your left in your glory.
赐我们在你的荣耀里，一个坐在你的右边，一个坐在你的左边。
Now, they're not thinking of heavenly glory.
他们没有想那种天上的荣耀，
They're thinking of positions of power in Jerusalem when Jesus takes the throne.
他们是想到在耶路撒冷当耶稣得荣耀的时候的那种
Now,
权
sometimes
利
we're really hard on James and John at this point.
这对雅各和约翰来讲是挺困难的。
But in another sense, this is a positive statement.
从另外一个角度，这是一个正面的一个宣告。
They believe Jesus is the king, the Messiah, just like Peter does, and he's going to win.
他们其实也相信耶稣是弥赛亚，而且相信耶稣会得胜，就像彼得一样。
This is their confession that Jesus is the Messiah.
这是雅各和约翰承认耶稣是基督的一种方法。
So in one sense, it's positive.
所以从这个角度来讲，是一个正面的宣告。
But in another sense, it's terrible
但从另外一个角度来讲，这实在是很糟糕，
because of what Jesus has just said.
因为耶稣刚刚才说的，
For a third time, he has predicted his death.
他第3次预言他将要受死。
Verse 32 says, Again, he took the 12 aside and told them what was going to happen to him.
Sorry.
Do you want me to read it all?
Sure,
Okay.
yes.
We're going to Jerusalem, he said, and the Son of Man will be betrayed to the chief priests and teachers of the law. They will condemn him to death, will hand him over to the Gentiles, who will mock him and spit on him, flog him, and kill him.
在第10章第32节，耶稣叫12个门徒来，把自己将要遭遇的事告诉他们说：看啊，我们上耶路撒冷去，人子将要被交给祭司长和文士，他们要定他死罪，交给外邦人，他们要戏弄他，吐唾沫在他脸上，鞭打他，杀害他。过了3天，他要复活。
All I can think is they must not have been listening.
我能够想到就是他们没有听到耶稣所说的。
Now, Jesus is gracious in his answer.
耶稣在他的回答里面其实是蛮有恩典的。
If I were him, I would have fired James and John as disciples on the spot.
如果我是耶稣的话，我当场就把雅各和约翰给开除掉了。
Then I would have put an ad in Craigslist.
然后我会在网上再登个广告。
2 disciples wanted.
我需要2个门徒。
Job requirements, the ability to listen to their teacher.
这个要求就是听老师的话。
And a little humility too.
而且要谦卑。
But Jesus is gentle.
但耶稣是他是温柔的。
He says, you don't know what you're asking for.
他说，其实你不知道所求的是什么。
Are you able to experience what I'm about to experience?
你能够经历我将要经历的吗？
Are you willing to suffer with me?
你愿意与我一同受苦吗？
James and John still don't get the message. They're eager, but they're naive.
雅各和约翰他们不懂耶稣的信息，其实他们很幼稚。
They say, we can, we are able.
他们说可以，我们可以啊。
They're still thinking of the Messianic war with Rome.
他们还是在想关于就是那个在地上的那种弥赛亚国度和征战。
Jesus goes on to say that they will suffer, in fact.
耶稣继续就说，他们其实会受苦。
But it is the Father's authority to grant those places on his right and his left.
但只有天父的权柄能够让谁坐在耶稣的左边右边。
Now, if Jesus is gentle, the other disciples are not.
耶稣他很温柔的对雅各、约翰，但另外10个门徒却不。
When they hear the request of James and John, they're furious.
当他们听到雅各和约翰的请求，他们变得非常的愤怒。
Verse 41 says, When the 10 heard about this, they became indignant with James and John.
马可福音第10章41节，那10个门徒听见就恼怒雅各、约翰。
Now, why were they indignant?
他们为什么这么恼怒呢？
Was this righteous indignation?
这是义怒吗？
I don't think so.
我不认为是。
They wanted those chief spots.
他们其实也要那个位置。
James and John had seized them before them.
只是雅各、约翰先走了一步。
Jesus again realizes something is drastically wrong with the disciples' perspective.
耶稣也知道这10个门徒的观点是错误的。
It's time for another lesson.
所以应该时候到了，要教导他们。
School is back in session.
要来上课了。
And in the words that follow, Jesus radically redefines the meaning of discipleship.
耶稣他接着就说的话呢，是可以说转变门徒生活的一些话。
And the meaning of leadership.
和那个领袖的意义是什么？
He contrasts the world's model of leadership style with his own.
这个耶稣的模范与世界观的领袖是完全是相反的。
In verse 42, he says, You know that those who are regarded as rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them.
第42节，耶稣对他们说：你们知道外邦人有尊为君王的治理他们，有大臣操权管束他们。
And their high officials exercise authority over them.
有大臣操权管束他们。
The world's method of leadership is domination, rule by force.
世界的方法是用统治、用势力来领导。
The Jews knew this firsthand.
当时的犹太人第一手的知道，
One empire after another had flowed through Israel and conquered them again and again.
历世历代一个帝国又一个帝国的来统治他们的土地。
The Assyrians, then the Babylonians,
先是亚述，然后是巴比伦，
then the Persians, the Greeks, and now the Romans.
然后是波斯、希腊，现在是罗马。
Those with power rule others.
那些有权柄、有权力的来统治那些没有的。
Little has changed today, has it?
今天好像也是差不多吧，
Those with the power control others.
就是有权柄的来统治，
It may be military power,
可能是军权，
or political power,
可能是政权，
or economic control over others.
可能是从经济的统治方法。
But those with power
不
rule.
管怎么样，总是用能力、用势力来统治。
Jesus says that may be the world's method, but it's not my method. It's different for you.
耶稣说，那或许是世上用的方法，但这不是我用的方法。
In verse 43, he says, Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. Whoever wants to be first must be slave of all.
在第43节说，只是在你们中间不是这样，你们中间谁愿为大，就必做你们的用人；在你们中间谁愿为首，就必做众人的仆人。
This is a shocking and amazing statement.
这是一个非常惊人的宣告。
Jesus takes the world's model of leadership and turns it upside down.
耶稣把属世的领袖观给颠倒过来。
This is especially shocking in the Greco-Roman context in which Jesus says it.
特别是在当时的古希腊罗马的文化里面，是一个非常惊人的一个宣告。
Where there were strict social boundaries between people.
因为在那时候是有非常清楚的等级的划分，
Everyone had a place, from the lowest slave to the highest emperor.
每个人有他们的地位，从最低的奴隶一直到最高的君王。
When we talk about service, we talk about helping out in the soup kitchen.
当我们讲到服事的时候，我们可能想到会去那些无家可归的收容处里面去服事，
Or distributing toys at Christmas.
或者在圣诞节的时候把玩具给那些有需要的孩子们。
But in the first century, slaves were powerless.
但是在第一世纪的时候，奴隶是没有任何
They
能力的，
were mere property.
他们只是一种产业，
They existed merely to serve their
他们存
masters.
在的目的就是来服侍他们的主人。
This is a shocking statement.
所以耶稣所讲的是一个非常惊人的，
It goes against everything we think about with reference to leadership.
这个跟我们所了解这个成为一个领袖观的观念是完全是背驰的。
So I'm glad Jesus didn't stop there.
我很高兴耶稣没有只停在这里，
I'm glad he continued to verse 45.
他继续在第45节说，
Because that's the key to servant leadership.
因为这是仆人领袖的关键。
For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many.
因为人子来并不是要受人的服侍，乃是要服侍人，并且要舍命做多人的赎价。
Jesus points to himself as the model of servant leadership.
耶稣他以身作则，什么是仆人领袖？
We learn what it means to lead by serving, by following his example.
我们学习成为领袖，来借着跟随耶稣的脚踪，他的榜样。
So in the rest of our time together, I want to look at 3 models or examples of servant leadership
所以剩下的时间，我们来看3个例子，关于这个仆人领袖。
from Mark's Gospel.
从这个马可福音，
Here's the first one.
第一个，
A servant leader focuses on people, not programs.
仆人领袖是众人，而不是重事。
Jesus was a man who saw the needs of those around him.
耶稣看到他周围的人的需要是什么？
A great picture of this is in Mark chapter 6.
一个很好的例子是在马可福音第6章。
Jesus and his disciples are exhausted. Their ministry has been taking its toll.
耶稣他和他的门徒因为事工的关系很疲惫，
So he calls his disciples away for a spiritual retreat.
所以他呼召那些门徒，就是有一个像退休会一样。
In Mark 6:31, he says, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place to get some rest."
在马可福音第6章31节，他就说：“你们来同我暗暗的到旷野地方去歇一歇。”
So they get in a boat and they head off to a retreat center.
他们就到一个退休点的地方。
But as they leave, the crowd sees them. People on the shore see them.
但当他们走的时候，那个岸上一些其他的众人看到了，
And they say, "There's Jesus."
他说：“那边耶稣在那里。”
And they start to follow the boat along the shore
他们就开始就跟着耶稣的船走，
until they get to the place they're going ahead of Jesus and the disciples.
然后甚至就是事先就到了耶稣和门徒要去的地方。
The poor disciples, they were so looking forward to their rest with Jesus.
那些门徒很可怜哈，他们真的很想要就是歇一歇，
And the people are waiting for them when they arrive.
但是当他们到的时候，众人已经在那边等他们了。
Chapter 6, Mark 6:34 says, "When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd."
当耶稣在第36章34节，耶稣出来见有许多的人，
He said, "Get away from me, I need my space."
他说：“你们走开，我需要我的空间。
That's not what it ” says.
没有，他没有这么说。
When he saw the large crowd, he had compassion on them
当他看到许多人，就怜悯他们，
because they were like sheep without a shepherd.
因为他们如同羊没有牧人一般。
So he began to teach them many
于是
things.
开口教训他们许多道理。
A servant leader sees people not as masses to be manipulated,
仆人领袖并不是看到一群可利用的人，
but as people with needs and
而是
hurts.
看到他们的需要。
When I serve, I often serve from selfish motives.
我有时候服侍其实是从个自私的角度。
I remember one time I was working as a college intern for our home church.
我记得有一次我在大学里面在实习的时候，在一个教会里头，
I'd just taken the group up into the Sierras for a backpacking trip.
我带一群人去中加州的地方登山。
I got back to the church and I was exhausted.
我回到教会的时候，我非常的累。
But the man who ran the bus services, who controlled the buses, told me that a bus had broken down just north of our church.
一个就是管理那个巴士的人跟我们讲说，有一个巴士抛锚了，
Full of high school kids headed off to camp.
有那巴士上面有一群的高中的学生要去一个露营点。
He asked me if I would take another bus to trade with them so they could continue on their way.
他说我可不可以开那个巴士去继续带他们到目的地？
I was exhausted and didn't want to go.
我已经很累了，我不愿意去。
But I knew I would be the hero if I rescued the bus.
但是我知道如果我去的话，我可能会成为一个英雄，
So I reluctantly agreed.
所以我很不乐意的，但是我接受了。
I got in that bus and started to drive north on Interstate 15.
我进到我开那个巴士走15号往北走。
But I got to the place where the bus was supposed to be. It wasn't there.
当我到那个地方的时候，那个抛锚的巴士其实没有在那里。
So I went to the next exit.
我再到下一个出口，
It wasn't there.
也不在那里。
I came back to the exit before it.
我再回到前面一个出口，
It wasn't
也
there.
不在那里。
So I stopped to call the church.
我停下来打电话给教
This,
会。
this was before cell phones, remember?
那时候还没有手机，
I stopped at a payphone.
我是用旁边的一个要付钱的那种老式
How many of you
电
ever
话。
seen a payphone?
有谁有看过那种老式的？
And I called the church.
我打电话给教会。
I got the custodian, the head of the buses.
我跟那个巴士的管理员讲到话。
And he said, "Oh, they got the bus going and on their way."
他们好像好了，现在他们已经继续往前开了。
Then he said, "I need that bus you've got. Would you hurry back, please?"
我现在需要你开的巴士，你可不可以赶快的开回来呢？
I was so upset.
我非常的生气，
I slammed down that phone.
然后我把那个电话就这样子很用力的挂掉了。
I don't know if you've noticed that God sometimes cools us off when we're hot.
因为有时候当我们很生气的时候，神就让我们冷静下来。
At that moment, one of the gas station attendants had been hosing down the asphalt.
那当时在那个加油站有个人正在就是用用水管浇
He
水。
turned to talk to his buddy and held the hose over his shoulder like this.
然后因为他跟别人讲话，就把那水管这样子往后，
And he soaked me in the phone booth.
然后那水就浇在我的全身上面，浇湿了。
I was so mad.
我更生气了。
I got in the bus and I'm driving back.
我进到那个巴士往回开，
And I began to think.
我就开始思考，
The best possible outcome had happened.
其实最好的发生的事情发生了。
Those kids were on their way to camp.
他们就顺利的往前走了。
Kids would be saved and dedicate their life to the Lord.
他们可以就是很安全的到那边，然后有机与主相遇。
And I was angry because I wasn't the hero.
我很生气，为什么呢？因为我没有成为英雄。
Jesus served out of compassion. not out of self-interest.
耶稣他的服事是因为怜悯众人，而不是因为自私的缘故。
A servant leader sees the needs of those around him.
一个仆人领袖看到周围人的需要，
But he not only sees the needs of others, he experiences those needs.
他不仅看到人的需要，他也去经历了人的需要。
Because a servant leader leads by example,
因为仆人领袖的领导是以身作则，
not by coercion.
而不是一种强迫要人去做。
Servant leaders don't tell others what to do, they do it.
一个仆人领袖并不是命令人要去做，而是跟他一起是以身作则。
In Mark chapter 3, Jesus appoints the 12 apostles.
在马可福音第3章，耶稣拣选12个门徒，
And it says he called them to be with him, just to be with him.
他呼召这12个门徒与他同在，
And then he would send them out to preach.
然后就差派他们出去传道。
He didn't enroll them in a 3-year discipleship training course.
他们并没有耶稣并没有把这个门徒好像去注册一个3年门徒门训的一种课
He
程，
told them to come and follow him, to watch his model,
而是对他们说：来跟随我，来学习我，观察我，
to learn from him.
来从耶稣的身上学习。
Robert Coleman, in his classic little volume on discipleship called The Master Plan of Evangelism. Can you see that?
I can see from it.
Okay.
Robert Clement 他写了一本书是传福音的最重要的计划。
He writes this: Jesus had no formal school, no seminaries, no outline course of study, no periodic membership classes in which he enrolled his followers. Amazing as it may seem, all Jesus did to teach these people his way was to draw them close to himself. He was in his own school and curriculum.
他这里说 ，Robert Coleman 说，耶稣并没有就是为他的门徒准备一个正式的训练的学校，没有让他们进入神学院，没有一个有系统的讲义的大纲，也没有让他们时常的参加任何的课堂。但是很惊讶的就是，耶稣所教导那些门徒的呢，就是要他们来到与他相近，这也是用这个方法来教导他们。他的方法，他自己就是学校，他自己就是那个课程。
Great job. That was a challenge, right? Servant leadership means modeling the life of Christ for others.
仆人领袖，是为了别人，
It means leading by example.
是以身作则。
And leading by example means being authentic.
以身作则是真实的。
Being authentic means being honest about our struggles and our weaknesses.
成为真实就是表示自己很坦白自己的弱点。
Some time ago, I was having lunch with a friend.
前一阵子我跟一个朋友有午餐，
We had a discipleship relationship. I was mentoring him.
我在带领他做一个门训。
He was recently married and was struggling in that marriage to a certain extent.
他刚结婚，然后是有一点挣扎。
And he was looking to me for counsel.
他期待从我这边可能给他一些辅导。
So we would have lunch together, and I would share and encourage him and help him along.
所以我们一起吃饭，然后希望这个机会能够来帮助他。
But at this particular lunch, I began talking.
但是在这个午餐的时候，我开始有点骄傲了。
You see, my wife and I had had a little discussion the night before.
在前一天晚上，我跟我太太有一些讨论。
Since we're Christians, we don't fight, we have discussions.
因为我跟太太都是基督徒，所以我们不是吵架，我们是讨论。
And for some reason, I began to vent with my friend and to tell him about this conflict we had.
然后我就吃午饭的时候跟我的朋友讲，就是我跟我太太之间的那种冲
It
突。
went on for about 10 minutes.
讲了差不多10分钟。
But when I realized what I was doing, I said, sorry, we shouldn't be talking about me.
当我知道的时候，我才发现其实不应该讲关于我自己，
We're supposed to be talking about
我们应
you.
该讲关于你的挣扎。
He said, oh, no, that's okay. I'm feeling better already.
他说没有关系，我已经感觉好了。
And it wasn't just that misery loves company.
并不是说好像
Sorry about that. Idioms are terrible.
并不是
That we just like others to suffer with us. Yeah.
好像那种就是有难同当那种感觉，
It's the sense that we're in this together.
而是就是我们都在一起同一艘船上，
That our problems are not unique.
我们的问题不是一个独特的问题，
That we can work through these things together
我
and
们可
get
以
better.
我们可以一起的来试着就是来解决。
A servant leader leads by
所
example,
以仆人领袖是以身作则，
not by a superior I am perfect model.
并不是说好像我是完美的，我是完全的，
A life of authenticity and integrity.
是一个诚实真实的一个生活。
That's because the role of a servant leader is not to exalt themselves,
因为仆人领袖的角色并不是高举自己，
but to empower others.
而是装备授权别人。
Here is our third principle of servant leadership from Jesus' life.
这就是从耶稣的生活里面，我们看到仆人领袖的第三点。
A servant leader empowers others to be all that God has called them to be.
仆人领袖装备授权赐能力给别人，使他们成为神呼召他们所要成为的。
This is so important.
这是非常重要的。
For Christians, leadership is not about power, it's about empowerment.
基督的仆人，基督的领袖并不是权力，而是要授权给别人，帮助别人。Sorry，
It's about lifting others up to be all that God has called them to be.
而是把别人给抬起来，成为神呼召他们所要成为的。
That's what Paul says in Ephesians chapter 4.
这是保罗在以弗所书第4章所说的。
He said, God gave the church apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, teachers.
他说，那个神赐给教会有先知、有教师、有牧师等等，
To equip God's people for works of service.
来装备神的子民来服侍。
The role of the leader is to equip God's people to be all they're called to be.
仆人领袖就是来装备其他的人，成为神呼召他们要所做的。
Shockingly, Paul doesn't say the role of leaders is to write books.
保罗并没有说一个教会的领袖是要写书，
He doesn't say it's to build large churches.
并不是说要建立一个庞大的教会，
He doesn't say it's to have the most Twitter followers.
并不是说要在网上有很多跟随者，
He doesn't say it's to speak at the most conferences.
也不是说好像到处成为有名的讲员
The。role of the leader is to equip God's people for works of service,
领袖的责任是装备别人来做神呼召他们要做的事，
to empower the body of Christ.
来装备、来赐能力给基督的身体教会。
Servant leaders enable others to be successful,
仆人领袖使别人成为成功者，
to be all that God has called them to be.
成为神呼召他们所要成为的。
You ready for another quote?
I'll try.
Here's John Stott, the great Christian senior statesman. He says this: The authority by which the Christian leader leads is not power, but love. Not force, but example. Not coercion, but reasoned persuasion. Leaders have power, but power is safe only in the hands of those who humble themselves to serve.
约翰斯托德说了这么一句话，他说：一个成为基督徒的领袖的权柄，不是权力，而是爱；不是势力，而是以身作则；不是强迫别人去做什么，而是合理的劝勉别人。一个领袖有权利，这个权利呢，是在那些愿意谦卑自己来服侍的人手中，在他们的手中就安全了。
I think we should give him a hand. Christian leadership is about unleashing God's people to fulfill their calling.
基督徒的领袖就是来帮助别人来完成神所呼召他们要做的。
It's about training our replacements.
是来训练后人。
I love the story of the pastor who was the pastor of a little country church.
我很喜欢一个故事，一个牧师他在乡村里面牧会的故事。
He was an extremely gifted preacher and felt like he deserved a larger church.
他是一个很有恩赐的牧师，他觉得应该来牧会一个比较大一点的教会，
So he was hoping God would call him to a larger church.
所以他希望神呼召他去服侍一个更大的教会。
Finally, sure enough, he received a call to another church in the next town.
结果后来就他得到一个机会，在一个比较大的一个小
It was significantly larger, so he took that call.
那个教会比他现在服侍的要大，所以他就接受了。
The next Sunday, he announced to the congregation that he would be leaving for another call.
所以接着一个礼拜，他对他的会众说他要离开了。
As he was greeting the people as they left, a dear old lady came up to him.
当他要就跟每个人握手说再见的时候，有一个老婆婆来到他的面前。
She was in tears and she said, "The church will never be the same without you, Pastor."
那个老婆婆就是充满了泪水，然后跟那个牧师讲说，我们教会以后就不再一样了。
He wanted to be humble, so he said, "I'm sure God will send you a pastor even better than me."
那个牧师他很谦虚，他就对那个老婆婆说，我相信神会带一个更好的人来。
She replied, "That's what they all say, but they just keep getting worse and worse."
那个老婆婆说，每一个牧师都这么说，但其实一个比一个糟。
I love that story
我其实很喜欢那个小故事，
because it reminds us not to take ourselves so seriously.
因为我们有时候不要太认真哈，有些事情上。
God doesn't need our gifts.
其实神他不需要我们，
God doesn't need our skills and abilities.
他不需要我们的一些什么能力，一些礼物给他。
He's gracious enough to use us in his service.
他非常有恩典的来用我们来服侍。
God isn't impressed with a PhD. Did you know that?
神他其实对博士一点都不看重。
God isn't impressed with superior scholarship.
他也不看重那些有很高学位成就的人。
God isn't impressed with the books that we write.
他也不看重那些就是写了一些很多书的那些人。
He's not impressed with our great speaking abilities.
他也不看重就是很有能力讲道的人。
Do you know what impresses God?
你知道最让神看重的是什么吗？
A simple heart of dependence on him.
是一个对神有一个很简单的一个纯洁的一个心，对他的忠
A
心，
childlike faith.
像一个小孩子的信心一样。
God calls us to lead by Christ's model.
神要我们的做领袖，像基督一样，
To honor people above programs.
来重人而不是重事，
To lead by example, not coercion.
是以身作则，而不是用一种势力强迫的方法。
And third, to empower others to be all that God has called them to be.
而是装备别人，使他们成为神呼召他们所要成为
See,
的。
that's what Jesus did.
这就是耶稣基督所做的。
When we were broken,
当我们破碎的时候，
when we were powerless,
当我们没有力量的时候，
he empowered us.
他赐能力给我们。
Romans 5:6 says, "You see, at the right time when we were powerless, Christ died for the ungodly."
在罗马书第5章那里讲到，就当我们是无能的时候，耶稣基督他为我们死在十字架上。
The supreme act of service was when he gave himself for us.
耶稣基督他最高的服事就是他为我们牺牲。
Jesus wasn't thinking of himself. He wasn't thinking of himself when he left heaven's glory.
当他离开天上荣耀的时候，他不是想自己，
He wasn't thinking of himself when he lived for 30 years in poverty and humility.
他没有想到，就是说他也不是在想在地上会30年穷苦的生活。
He especially wasn't thinking of himself when he went to the cross and suffered and died for us.
他也不是在想他将要在十字架上为我们受苦而死。
But through that one act of suffering, he empowered us.
但是他所注重的就是在那个牺牲那个举动来赐力量给我们，
He enabled us to become children of God.
来使我们成为神的儿女。
Mark 10:45, "For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many."
在马可福音第10章第45节，因为人子来，并不是要受人服侍，乃是服侍人，并且要舍命做多人的赎价。
That's our model to follow.
这就是我们应该跟随的模范。
Can we close in prayer?
我们一起低头祷告。
Father, we thank you for your love for us.
主，我们感谢你给我们的爱。
We thank you most of all for the gift of your Son.
我们特别的感谢你，把你的爱子赐给我们。
who came to earth when we were powerless,
当我们无能无力的时候，来到了世界上，
and through his sacrificial death,
经历他牺牲的死亡
empowered us to become your children.
和复活，使我们成为神的儿女。
We are eternally grateful.
我们在永世里面都还的
Help,
感恩，
help us to lead and serve following that model.
帮助我们，让我们也是随着这个模范来做一个领导。
In Jesus' name we pray.
奉耶稣基督的名祷告，
Amen.
阿门。